Wheel2Wheel Tier 1 Championship. My name is Ross Sorling and I will be your commentator for today's race live on Twitch. Today's race, of course, is, if I get the right one up, there we go, is the French Grand Prix at Le Castellet. Good old Paul Ricard. This will hopefully be a very exciting race, a lot of straights, so very good opportunities for the DRS for today's race. Quite similar to Canada, one would think. That's fine. Sorry, just if you bear with me, I'm going to have to get myself ready for this lobby. So we are going to be missing a couple of drivers as of today. I've only confirmed 2, but as always there will be more that I have not been told about. So we'll find out together. But as of tonight's race, yes, it has been looking very good. One of the people who actually want to be turning up is our last week's winner, Wheel, who won both the Monaco race 2 weeks before and the Canada race last week. Unfortunately, he can't make it with us for this race today, so this gives Shari and Nick, both in front, a good opportunity to pick up some valuable points. Now, with Wheel putting himself getting back-to-back wins, and the only person to get 2 wins in a season, he has put himself firmly in the championship picture. There we go. Sorry, that's me just putting myself into the lobby. So yes, obviously I was just mentioning there, Wheel with his 2 wins. He has put himself from outside the championship picture to only within a race win of Nick now. Nick, let me get the standings up for you. There we go. Currently in the lead of this championship with 108 points, with Shadi only 10 points behind Wheel. Like I mentioned, with these 3 wins of the season actually, first back to back. With 88 points, only 20 points now behind Nick. Silvers with the 4th position has had a little bit of a dip in form since his win in Australia with 73 points, and Hickster, who DNF'd unfortunately in Canada last time out, still holds that 5th position. With Hickster not scoring any points in Canada, Nick is now the only person in this Tier 1 championship who has scored points in every single race so far. So as we enter the start of the European leg of the season, can he continue this form? We'll have to find out later on tonight. Looking at the constructors, it was a very solid performance, you would say, for the Mercedes team, as they did grow out their advantage from Red Bull to now 49 points, 171 to 122. McLaren getting a bit of a gap there for the battle for 3rd place between them and Williams, thanks to Wheel's win back out in Canada. 92 points for them. Williams holding it down with a 4 points gap behind them from Toro Rosso in 5th, Haas 6th, Ferrari 7th. Battle for 8th racing point, Alfa Romeo tied on points, and Renault not too far behind. Obviously Lira is now starting to get into the groove with a good finish in Canada. Hopefully they can improve the results heading into today's race. And without further ado, we may as well look at the track guide for today's race, and this comes from our friend Roman Grosjean.
Quite a good straight line before turn 1.
That's if it wants to work.
Yeah.
Okay,
Quite good straight line before turn 1, and a bit of a bumpy. again a very important throttle application. And then we're going to sink corner, flat out corner, even in the race, really high speed. And then we're going to the double right of Le Bosset, which is one of the most incredible corners of the year. Again, depending the wind or the balance of the car, the line changes a lot in between going wide or pretty narrow. And
so
then we've got
for the drivers
a braking with quite a fair bit of G's before
the
attacking the last part of the lap. Another long left corner, quite high speed, before jumping on the brake for the last corner of the lap.
So, Paul Ricard, 27 laps around this circuit. Probably not a lot of drivers' favourites, but hopefully it will bring an entertaining race and we get to see the wonderful improvements, I say wonderful in the speech marks, of this pit lane, which has been so raved about by codemasters who should be knowing how to make a game properly. We have 17 drivers in total. We look like we are missing it looks like a Ferrari driver, but they no longer are here most of the time anyways. I'm going to assume they just left. Haas, someone. McLaren, Rio also not joining us, so Swab will be taking the place of that, and Buthe is has retired from the season. I don't blame him. And we only have the one racing point, but we have two of Toro Rosso. Anyway, that's fine. So it looks like we're missing a couple of people, but 17 drivers is a very solid turnout for the books. We're just waiting on two steps by the look of it to pick a seat. Who is the second Toro Rosso driver? No Toro Rosso racing point. And then we should be ready to go and race. So it's hit 8 o'clock. As ever, it'll be 18-minute qualifying session followed by the race. Be an interesting development this qualifying session, just to see whether or not it will be a 1 or 2 stop. My reason for saying this is obviously the soft tyre life around this track in particular is very short now. 9 laps is according to the Formula 1 game guide, and obviously take that with a pinch of salt. It has caught me off guard before, but if true, 9 laps should possibly mean that is not the tyre of choice for most people qualifying. The tyre of choice should be the mediums, especially if you want to make it well into the top 10 for today's race. Now, the medium tyres do have a tyre life of 15 laps, but they give you the option of one stopping it from mediums to hards. Most likely, if we see people going on the softs in the start of the race, it will be a 2-stop strategy, unless they feel really adventurous to try and do one stop, but that's in all honesty not going to happen. So you'll be more likely to see for 2 stops a soft medium, or a soft medium soft, depending if at what stage in the race they want to go aggressive. Personally, it'll probably be a soft medium soft kind of combination, as the drivers are starting to ready themselves up, so we shall be in the lobby not too far away from this anyway. But yeah, it'll be very interesting. Now again, with the soft tyres, there is a big tyre delta between the softs and the mediums, 1.2 seconds to be exact. But if you take away the tyre life variables away from the qualifying session, you will really only have 2 to 3 laps worth of tyre grip before the softs start falling off the cliff. So you have to question to yourself, is track position really worth it around here? And the answer, I would say, is no. But by the look of it, we are running a little bit late. I can only apologise for that. I believe we're possibly waiting on another driver. No, we're not. We're actually starting the session in 20 seconds. So good timing there. As that is us starting to make our way into the qualifying session. As always, we will put ourselves in a position where we can see the telemetry, we can see the lap times, and hopefully we can get ourselves a very good qualifying session. And it looks like we are waiting on one person, Steph Farrell. Looks like they might have some issues with their connection, so hopefully that can get sorted and get themselves in for a qualifying session. Hopefully it doesn't mean we have to restart the lobby once again. This doesn't look good. It really doesn't look good. Okay. Oh, there we go. Finally getting in as Steph actually left the session. That is why we were having issues. So, starting the timer at 18 minutes, we'll put the telemetry and the lap data, and we'll see who is going for what tyres. Already a couple of people on the hard tyres, Shari and Mads Tron. As we see, Shari will be the first one out in this session, followed by the Renault of, I believe that is Lyra, and it's Jaime who's actually in front of Shari, so we might see Jaime, who's actually on these soft tyres, be the first person to put a lap time in for us in tonight's race. As we see him just get out of the way of Shari. So we currently have 4 or 5 cars out on track. JG, another car to be out on these soft tyres. So people split decisions so far from drivers already, with soft and hard combinations alike. This might actually be quite similar, slipstream wise, as we have a little bit of lag here. That's not good for this potential session here. We might see something similar to a Monza track, or what's happened in real life in the regards of people will want to try and stay in traffic as much as they can to try and gain, as we see Hickster leave the session. So this is not going well for this lobby. We've lost 2. Steph has actually joined back in, so we're at 17. So yeah, I was mentioning people will want to stay in traffic to make sure that they can get a big slipstream. This will be a good couple of tenths of a difference, but it looks like Shari will be the first person to cross the line and put a lap time in, as we see yellow flag sector 3. So it looks like traffic is a little bit of a hindrance there, but it looks like it is very clear for Shari as he enters turn 1 and turn 2. Clean so far, no off tracks there. Heading into the end of sector 1, turn 3 and turn 4. It's a very tight section of the circuit, but especially heading into turn 6, you'll want to make sure you get a really good exit heading out into the straights. It's 25.4 for Shari first sector. Again, he is on the harder tyres, so there will be times faster than that, but that is the benchmark so far. Shari entering the corners turn 8 and turn 9, trying to basically straight line that chicane as much as he can to minimise time, and heading out to the second half of this back straight, heading into sector 2. That's 53.2. Taking flat out turn 10, and a very tricky corner to perfect turn 11. Basically a double apex right hander. Heading into turn 12, yellow flag sector 3. Hopefully that this does not impact Shari. Looks like as he green flag, he does go wide, and that looks like it will be an invalidated lap for this lap. So that's not really worked out too well for Shari, as he will enter the pits. So next person we'll have to see is Jaime. He will be the next one to put he will be the first one to put a lap time in, I should say. No, it's not. It's Lira with a 130.5. Can Jaime do any better than that? No is the answer. 132.1. JG slots himself in the middle of these two. 1 minute 30.8. Mazzatron, the first of the hard tyre runners, with 133.1. We have Luttats and medium tyres, 132.1. Who else is on a lap? Bosno is in the hard tyres, 134.2. Slower than Mazzatron. Steffarel, the teammate, only slower by a couple of hundredths of a second, both on the hard tyres. These, I was going to say Silvers, it's Alfa Romeos. Archer, where are you? You're coming into the end of sector 3. We'll have a look in a second. Silvers drops out of the lobby. So it looks like Archer will be the next person to cross the line. Ken Worthington actually crossed the line on the hard tyres with 135.6 behind both Alfa Romeos. Now Archer on the soft tyres, let's see what he can do. It will be slower than our current pole sitter leader, but it's a 133.6 and puts him 6th in the standings. Next up we have AME. Let's see where he can put himself, and it's 3rd place with 131.8. Yellow flag sector 3. We have both Force Indias. No, it's not Force Indias. It is the Racing Points putting themselves out, and that's a little bit of a lag. Something clearly is up. Hixer has joined. Silvers has dropped, but Two Steps has now dropped once again as well. So possible internet connections here. We'll have to keep an eye on that for the time being. I will try and find out in the off chance, but looks like it's good so far. Mandrop puts himself into 7th in the medium tyres for 133.2. So we have 6 drivers still yet to put a pit stop in. We have Hixter, who's just joined after an internet connection issue. We have Nick, who hasn't put a lap in yet, just coming out on his out lap. Two Steps, who is currently disconnected. Who was that who's just jumped up a position? I believe that was Ken Worthington. Yes, it was 132.8 on the hard tyres. We have Shari out in an out lap. We're still waiting on Schwalb, who possibly might be a good shout for today's race. And Silvers, who still has not connected to this race, unfortunately, after losing connection a couple of minutes ago. Drivers coming out for their second runs. EME coming in for an in lap. Lap taps, second, 10th and a half off, only a 10th actually after sector 2. Can they improve their times? Now this is not going to be the case actually, because their ERS is very low, so we'll skip that in particular lap. Ken Worthington in an in lap. Boaz Noah's in lap, Mandrop in lap, Archer in lap. It looks like a lot of people who are not showing as out lap or pit are in laps. That's fine. Silvers has finally joined us. We're still waiting on 2 sets, but it looks like everyone who's not put a lap time in is ready to put a lap time in the next couple of minutes or so. So far with 10 minutes to go, Lira's still out in front with a 130.5. I would like to see possible 129s, maybe even 128s at push, depending on how the track evolves coming in with the rest of the 10 minutes to go. Nick on his first flying lap on the soft tyres. He's chosen to go fast straight out the gates. We have Schwalb, who's on the harder tyres, putting in a banker lap. It's a 24.9 for Nick so far. Heading into turn 8, turn 9, it wasn't as clean as we've possibly seen other drivers take it, but nonetheless around the corner, 52.5 after sector 2. Let's see how he can make it through sector 3. Can he go through turn 11 very clean? A little bit hesitant on the throttle. It's possibly a corner he's not feeling 100% comfortable in, and that may be a bit of a vulnerability for our championship leader, especially in the race. It looks like he has actually backed off his lap, so maybe an installation lap for our championship leader as he walks up trying to make it into the pit stops. Hickster, sector 1, lap flag, can't speak, sector 1 yellow flag. Hickster out in sector 2, 2 sticks, still hasn't connected. Schwalb about to make a lap on the hard tyres. Can he be the first of the fastest hard tyre runners? The answer is yes, with a 131.9 fourth place for Schwalb in the harder tyres. It's not actually too much of a difference between the soft and hard tyre runners considering the tyre delta, so that might work in Schwalb's favour. By the look of it, if you take the 1.8 second delta into effect between first and fourth, Schwalb should have around a 4/10 gap over what would have been Lira, but Jai G has now upped his game and put himself up into provisional pole position with a 1:30.4. So it looks like a 1:29 would kind of seal the deal for at least a front, a place in the front. Jai G is normally very good when it comes to qualifying, so for him to put down a marker of 1:30.4 tells me that a 1:29 is surely possible. We'll have to find out at some point. We've got a lot of people on outlaps. Hickster on an in-lap. We have Boaz Noyes a second faster on the medium tyres this time, not the harder tyres. I say a second faster, but he's not past sector 1 as of yet. Let's see, he's only a 10th and a half up after sector 1. So we'll keep an eye on him for his second. Steph Farrell on their second run on the medium tyres this time. Just past sector 1, we have just missed that. Nick once again on an outlap on the soft tyres. Silver's sector 2, yellow flag sector 3. So Silver's managing to get himself back in medium tyres for the Mercedes driver. as I didn't get a time for him. Obviously, I was looking for the difference here for a second. That wasn't obviously the case. AME, that's a very good sector 1 if that's the case. 4.5 tenths up. He could be possibly challenging his teammate. Possible, no, that's actually a big gap between second and third, but he can be in the low 31s if he keeps his pace up. Very good from the Spaniard, who has had a very good run of form as of late. Schwalbe, I believe, on an in-lap. We have Luttats coming across the line fairly soon. We'll stay on board with EME as he's about to cross the line. Does he make the improvement? Luttats puts himself up into third and Ken Worthington fourth. EME takes that fourth position back with a low 1 minute 31 and 1 minute 31.3. Luttats, the third person to be in the 130s, only 3 tenths behind Jai G in the Haas, so a very good run from Luttats. Schwalbe with another run, hard tyres, up into 5th, so he is chilling, I suppose, with 5 minutes to go. It's a sign of confidence from the what would be reserve driver. Confirmation of Schwalbe will be joining McLaren officially as of next week, so that'll be a good run to get his debut win with McLaren if he can win that. As Jaime is about to cross the line, 2 tenths up from his previous best. Can he dip into 131s? That is yes, with 131.8. Still stays in 7th though. Bosno is currently in an in-lap. Steph enjoying a hit of the barriers. Nick puts himself up into 3rd with a 1 minute 35.8. As we see a lot of yellow flags all over the place. That's because we have a oh, it's raining, I've just noticed that. Oh, that makes it very, very interesting. So it looks like not a lot of people will be improving their times by the look of it. So that's going to be a major, major upset for drivers such as Schwalbe, who was taking it very, very careful, gambling with the hard tyres, kind of missing the cue with that. He will start probably no better than 6th, so it's a very good run. Schwalbe has retired from the session, so that does confirm it. 2 Steps, I don't believe, has actually rejoined us, unfortunately, and the 2 Mercedes have not put lap time in, and they will be starting from the back, which does not help considering Shari 2nd in the championship from Silvers, who's 4th in the championship. This is an absolute terrible session for them, and 2 Steps finally joins us at the wrong times as well. Unfortunately missing the dry part of qualifying and can only take place in the wet, as a lot of drivers are deciding to retire from the session because no more improvements can really be done. So Jai G takes, I believe, his 3rd podium of the season. He's really good at his qualifying. He's just been quite unfortunate when it comes to race pace. Hopefully today can be his day to at least challenge for a podium position. Lira puts himself in 2nd, which is a very solid performance for the Renault driver, ahead of Nick as well. Nick will be very happy with his 3rd place considering where his challengers really are. Obviously we are missing Real, who's not going to be here. Shari and Silvers, who I've already mentioned, start basically effectively last and second last, and Hickster 11th. He had to do some damage limitation when it came to Monaco. Now the rest of the drivers have to do damage limitation to try and stop him from extending his lead. So this is very unfortunate. Confirmation that DRS is now disabled by the stewards, so I can guarantee no one will be improving their times. Ken Worthington doing a little bit of showboating, and why not? Yeah, we do appreciate some entertainment here while we do wait. Saves us from having to ponder about for a good 2 minutes or so. But yes, so with 1 minute to go, no more obviously improvements. Only Ken really the only person to be out on track. I'm sure he'll probably be retiring at some point soon just to make sure. Actually, Silvers is also out as well. Is he actually on a lap? So no rain for the start of qualifying. We're not entirely sure about the race. Hopefully we do get a little bit of rain on the race. Shari and Silver's putting 146 and 150, so the difference between dry times and wet times, that's how you prove it. 17 seconds really the difference. So we just wait for Ken to finish his lap or retire. That's actually done. So confirmation of this qualifying session, caught out by rain for some people I'd imagine. So we have Jai G, third podium of the season, followed by Lira, Nick the championship leader in third position from Luck Taps, Ian fifth, Schwalb 6th, Ken Worthington 7th, Jaime 8th, Boaz Noyes 9th, 10th is Steph Farrell, 11th is Hickster, Mazatron 12th, Mandrop 13th, Archer 14th, Shari and Silvers 15th and 16th. And without putting a time in, unfortunately, 2 steps, we did have some issues with connectivity. Now this is going to be a very interesting race for just coming up. I was going to say for tonight. It's going to be tonight. It's already tonight. Oh, it's Luck Taps has left the session now. He needs to get himself back in position to at least race here, or he is going to be losing out massively after his a decent start here. He does have no input in the setups or fuel as well, because he's missed out on joining here, so this is not going to work out at all for the Ferrari driver. But it looks like it is going to be a dry session for the start of the race, at least. It does look very overcast, but it is EU weather. Anything can happen. But it'll be a very interesting thing. We have a lot of drivers in front in soft tyres, at least our top 6 are. Then we have Schwalb, who is in 3 lap old hard tyres. As there is no formation lap once again, so there will be possibly a restart of this lobby. We had a similar issue to this in Monaco. I will confirm this in a second. So yeah, that is drivers starting to retire. So we have had an issue once again with the lobby, so we will have to restart the session. So it should not be too long until something happens. I suppose it's a very good indication for the drivers to at least practice their starts. Now again, something we have to mention, and again this is for me anyway, make it aware. Drivers such as our Schwalbs and hard tyres, next the Liras, Schwalb in particular will be a lucky boy, considering he will be possibly be able to, well, he will be, not possibly, he will be able to start on a fresh set of not hards, but he can choose any any in particular tyre he wants, as of the rules in Monaco, where the drivers were allowed to have a free reign of tyre choice. After we had a similar incident here where a formation lap was not completed. So a little bit of relief here for Schwab. Not like he was probably maybe going to have any issue at all, but this makes it a little bit more sweeter for the McLaren driver. So we're just waiting for the majority of the drivers to leave. And we'll leave ourselves, so we will be having a potential 5 to 10 minute delay. Possibly longer, considering some people will be still wanting to get a little bit of practice in before the race actually starts. So, it will be interesting to see what the occurrence is. We're just waiting for the lobby to be created once again. So we're still having some issues by the look of it. Can't seem to join. So by the look of it, we are waiting actually on 2 people, so that's actually not as bad as we do suspect it will be. It means that it's going to be very quick when it comes to hosting this lobby up. We actually have our 17 drivers up and running, so it really comes to the case of the drivers put themselves back into their regular teams and the Grenada getting quickly set up. So hopefully that should not be should not take too long. I can only apologise about this, ladies and gentlemen. We should not be too long coming into the start of this race. We are just waiting for the custom grid to get made after the qualifying session has been done. In the meantime, I'll sell out for Wheel2Wheel here for a second. As always, on a Monday night we will be streaming, live streaming the Tier 1 Championship live on Twitch as always 7:50 with myself as the commentator. If you do enjoy our streams or want to watch a little bit more, feel free to follow this Twitch channel. We do have a second tier championship which is also W2W owned. On our YouTube channel, search W2W on YouTube, you will be finding that live, and I would imagine without any incidents and with a formation lap if you will really want to treat yourself. Other than that, try to see where else I can sell out with. Oh yes, if you are interested in some of the other gaming things that we can do, we will be opening up a iRacing league as of January 2020, so only a couple of months away. We will be hosting a MX5, a global, a Mazda MX5 Rookie Cup. We have our Touring Car Cup, and we have the W2W GT3 Championship. The 3 series we will be starting off with not too far away. If that is anything of interest with you, feel free to join our Discord. Feel free to join our Discord channel, which I should have a link somewhere. This is great streaming. I'll quickly put it on the next race section so you guys can see. So it will be www.discord.gg/, and if it wants to show me, because it's not, oh, then they tell me we froze. Oh no, we haven't. There we go. /capital C lowercase r, capital J, capital W, lowercase k, capital F, and capital E. That will take you to our Discord, where you can join us and our ever growing community, where we will be racing Formula 1 and iRacing as of the start of next year. So the drivers are starting to load themselves back up. It looks like the custom grid has finally been put through. So 13 seconds until the session starts, which is very good for us. There we go, as we are back into the lobby. So as always, we will be skipping qualifying, as qualifying did finish officially. So we'll be straight into the race. We will have a formation lap, as we should have in the first place. It might actually work out very well for luck taps who did miss the start of what would have been the formation lap. So it gives him an opportunity to set up his strategy for the race coming up. So that is the drivers entering this session. A little bit overcast as it was beforehand. So France obviously giving us the best of the weather it can give. So less than 30 seconds to go until this session begins. So formation lap does go through, which is very nice to see. So we have soft tyre runners, hard tyre runners, medium tyre runners as Hickster leaves the session. This is just not happening for Hickster, hopefully, so he can get himself back and my grating host tells me that something bad has just happened once again for this lobby. Either that or I've previously had this before and I've been kicked. Something tells me that we have an issue here. Shadi is in the wrong position. He's just mentioned this in our Twitch chat and not Twitch chat, sorry, your Discord, and unfortunately once again, ladies and gentlemen, I do have to apologise because we will have to restart the lobby. So I suppose this maybe helps Hickster out again. He was having issues, to be fair, with his tyres as well. So this is going bad to worse. So I'd imagine we'll stay on board with this for the time being, because I imagine a lot of drivers will maybe want to practice their starts. So we'll see who gets the better of the starts. Schwalb had a decent start. He did get himself up to first position. I say first position with the good old quotations. So be interesting to see second time around, does Jai G give himself a very good start coming off the line. That's if it goes through. See if any drivers actually want to practice their starts. So that was a decent start from Ken, by the look of it, but Jai G had a very good start as well. Now obviously this doesn't contribute too much at all, but yeah, it might actually give a little bit of insight come the actual race itself. So we wait once again for a new lobby to be made. If you're interested in watching a league if you're interested in watching a lobby which doesn't have to go, which will work first time, I should say, I can't speak, follow our Tier 2 Championship on YouTube. They're probably halfway through the race. I probably imagine there has been a lot of excitement. That is a very good championship to watch. If you don't watch it, I do recommend you watch some of the races. It has been a very good battle for the championship, especially in the last couple of races. There has been some cracking races to watch. So we still wait for a lobby. Yes, Swaggy. Third time is the charm, but knowing our luck, we'll probably have to do one more. Hopefully it'll get sorted. Again, from what I'm hearing from our Discord, it has been a potential bug slash error from Codemasters, not human error, but I'll take that with a pinch of salt, honestly. But again, it's at the same time, when I say I take it with a pinch of salt when I say human error, it is Cody's at the end of the day. They cannot make a game which is good. And I'm saying this as someone who has bought the Codemasters games since, was it 2012? All I'm saying is bring back 2006 Formula 1 Championship Edition for the PS3. That is the more better thing going. Right, let's see if we can get ourselves into this lobby. Oh, looks like another lobby has been made. 18 drivers, including myself there for a second. 17. I am honestly at the stage when I'm getting that board, I may actually want to start racing here, get some points for myself. There we go, we're back into the lobby. Third time is the charm, as earlier mentioned by Swaggy, so hopefully this is going to be some good news for us, and hopefully there is no mishaps, as I do want to go to my bed in a reasonable time. Obviously the passive aggressive comments aren't really helping me, but there we go. Third time is saying it. Overcast weather, good in France as always. So it looks like we'll maybe have a little bit more of a delay because we want to make sure that tyres and setups have been applied to all drivers, and make sure that all drivers are in the right positions. So drivers are starting to ready up. You do have 10 seconds to go. Hopefully this is all ready to get going for this race.
New safety measures have been introduced since the start of 2018.
So formation lap is away. We'll have a look at our tyres for the drivers. So hopefully this all goes well. So outside the top 10, Hixer, Mazatron, Mandrop, Archer, Shari, Silvers and Two Steps. The only people not to be in regions outside the top 10 is Two Steps, Shari and Mandrop. So the two Mercedes drivers having alternative strategies to each other, but all going for the one stop. So far so good. It looks like nothing is showing up here whatsoever for the time being from your Discord. Right, so it looks like actually the two Mercedes drivers have been disqualified from this formation lap, so that's not going to help them too great, but at the end of the day they're at the back, so it doesn't really matter. The AI is starting to take over for the cars up in front, so it shouldn't be too long until the last driver, Two Steps, enters his grid position, which is actually happening now. So the start of the race will be starting in a matter of moments. We are having UI issues already, which is not good, because this means there's going to be an issue with the lobby. This is not good. This is really not good. Okay, this means that something bad is going to happen here. It's apparently an issue with Two Steps' car not lining up. Apparently his connection is not going too great, and this is what's causing the issue. It is bad connection from Two Steps. He unfortunately has to leave the session, so the race should be starting soon, hopefully. And hopefully, I pray this is not a repeat of the lobby again, so hopefully it can sort itself out. And he has left the session. The lights are starting to go out, so thankfully we are going to be racing this race. The lights have gone out, so round 8 France Power Card has started. Jai G, with all the practice starts he's been given, he leads from Lira, so a very good start from them. Contact to the back, someone has lost their front wing, and a big part of it, Jai G having the scenic route. They're picking up some grapes from the wine factories and all of that. Mazdatron, it looks like he's been hit a little bit. He's actually been passed by the AI of Two Steps, who's actually on a blinder. Looks like who has had the contact? It has been Steph Farrell. Front wing has been damaged from there. So Jai G in front of Lira, but the gap showing already. Taps is already on the back of Lira for the slipstream. Does he have a look into turn 8? The answer is yes. Can he make it stick? However, he goes in very, very late but makes it stick. Now, does he have to give the place back? That was a bit of a corner cut. I do not believe so. Slats Taps up into second place. Okay, so we will get that spectator thing out the way. Yellow flag sector 2 and 3. This is not good at all. Hopefully Two Steps can get himself back in for proper connection. Silver's up to 12 from 15th. We see a lot of drivers going wide at turn 11 already. Boys and always passing Jaime. Jaime getting right back. A lot of contact there between these two drivers. And Hicks are going very, very wide at the exits of turn 12. Schwab not having the greatest of starts on the hard tyres, however, he is the first of the hard tyre runners. Silvers puts himself up into 11th, so a very good start there for the Mercedes drivers of Silvers. Nick, our championship leader, side by side with AME entering turn 1. He makes it stick. That's him up into 4th place. Lira battling Tats for 2nd. Jan G not getting away from both drivers as well. Nick has now joined this party for 2nd. As looks like Tats has went far too deep and is just holding up Lira. This is going to be an absolute great battle for 2nd, as Lira tries to take as much of a turn and to get more speed out. This is only letting Jai G get a little bit of a gap ahead of the Ferrari. But now this is inviting Nick to have a look at Lira. Does he have the slipstream? No, it doesn't. Looks like the setup for Lira is strong enough in the straights to make defending a little bit easier here. But it looks like Nick will be surely on the back of these two drivers in front with the DRS. Now Ken has Schwab all over the back of him, and actually flat through turn 10 Schwab picks up a place. I believe he actually retains his 6th place over Ken Worthington. What's happened to him? He's spun at turn 10, so that's dropped him back at turn 13. I do not know what's happened there, but it's very unfortunate for the Williams driver. Does he have damage to his front wing? The answer is yes, so he will have to pit already into lap 2. Looks like we have had a couple of lap 1 incidents. The UI leaderboard will have to update itself at some point in the next couple of minutes. Hopefully it'll get itself sorted. Jai G leading by 1.2 seconds, followed by Luptaps, who's defending heavily from Lira. Nick has actually lost a couple of positions, so he's not strong at sector 3 by the look of it, but he still holds 4th place. Mandrop picking up a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. EME 5th place with Schwalb right behind him now. Schwalb is now getting his groove on with the hard tyres. Hexter has Jaime close for company. This is lap 3, this is DRS range heading into it. Boas Noise in the Alpha has the company of Silvers in the Mercedes, who has really had a good job, him and Shari as well. As we see, I think that was a defence there from Luptaps. It doesn't look like it's worked out. We have actually missed the pass from Silvers up into P9, so the Mercedes driver's doing a really good job here, making their way through the field, recovering after a quite dismal qualifying session. Very, very wide goes Luptaps. Lira and Luptaps have contact. Can Lira keep it straight? And yes, he does. Great control of that car from Lira. Nick does gain a position from that, however, and it means that Schwalb is all over the back of Lira now. These soft tyres, as much as they have been made fresh because of the lobby restart, they will be dying surely in the next couple of laps. So Schwalb is in a very strong position to possibly put himself up into second in the next couple of laps. But Jai G has kind of taken off away from Luptaps. 2.1 seconds is the gap. Silvers picks up another position up into 8th place ahead of Jaime, using the DRS and probably a better exit. Boas Noise not that far behind for 9th place. So Silvers on the medium tyres having a great run, not that far behind. Hexter in 7th place and not behind this little battle for 2nd. As we see Hexter go very wide and Silvers has latched onto his gearbox. Can he do anything about this? DRS is now wide open. Hexter does have it, but Silvers now has double DRS and passes Hexter as Boas Noise passes Jaime. So Silvers makes it stick, and now his next target is the Renault of EME. So Silvers on a charge. We'll have to keep an eye out on him. Schwalb has not made any progressive gains to the guys out in front. A little bit of a gap forming between himself and Lira. Obviously the soft tyres still holding a little bit of grip as of lap 4. But Jai G has increased his gap between himself and Luptaps. Luptaps having to defend for his life for the 2nd place currently, as we see Ken Worthington jump up into 15th. So far, so good for the Haas driver of Jai G. Hopefully he can keep this up. He is really in the need for a good result in these races. Shari puts himself up into 10th and into the points. Silvers, the fastest lap of the race, right behind EME. This Mercedes driver really is on a charge, and he will be most likely racing for a podium position at the way it looks. The clouds seem to have gotten more and more darker. I do not know if this means it's going to be raining at all, I'm not entirely sure. Archer picks himself up a 3-second time penalty from 12th position. So we'll stay on board with EME because he looks like he'll be the next one to have a little bit of a battle. The battle for 2nd has kind of elongated. I say that Nick is getting very, very close. Nick goes in inside of the chicane. Luptaps is having none of that and pushes Nick a little bit wide here, so he manages to keep his 2nd place. But look at this, Schwalb is now being invited to have a little go at Lira with the DRS. Can he make it stick around the outside? The answer is no. Lira has the better exit of turn 10. That is not stopping Schwalb from having a look. Luptaps goes super wide and loses 3 spots in the space of a lap. And actually no, oh my days, Lira has been caught out and Silvers is retired. Silvers has been taken out by Lira. So Luptaps has joined the track after being pushed out wide, and that has made Lira spin, which has caused Silvers to crash. The chain reaction has been terrible, and now the virtual safety car is out. Now if I was, as Lira enters the pit lane, I would be possibly wanting to pit on these soft tyres, considering the tyre life for these softs are potentially are going to be shortening their life out. Lira, considering he's had to pit for a new wing, this might be the best outcome for him. As he would have been having to do the two-slot strategy, he will not lose too much time under the virtual safety car compared to the other drivers around him. DRS is enabled once again, so the virtual safety car is gone, but basically Lira has had a very big break of luck there. That's very unfortunate where Silvers has happened, but Lira may get himself back in a good position here. Hickster has passed EME, better reactions by the look of it for the Toro Rosso driver. Schwalbe all over the back of Luktat. Still Nick has confirmation, put himself up into second place after that incident. JG still with a 2.8 second gap after lap 6. We probably will see the soft tyre runners pit in the next couple of laps. We see Schwalbe having a look at Luktat's. Luktat's going a little bit wide again. Maybe Schwalbe has to take a little bit of precautions here. But you can see the grip levels compared to the Ferrari McLaren driver. The McLaren driver has the abundance of grip here, and that is a pass, the third being made. Luktat's trying to get back at Schwalbe at the turn 15. That's obviously not going to be the case. Schwalbe puts himself up to third. His next target, Nick. So we have Hickster actually managing to gap EME. Shaddy in 7th. Unfortunately, for the other Mercedes driver of Silvers, Shaddy has maybe been able to profit from this. Again, he is on the hard tyres. He might be in for a good shout of a podium. Further down the field, we have a big gap, actually 11 seconds to be precise, between 7th and 8th position. Now, has Archer pitted? I do not know. I believe the answer is no. Try to find out. No, so Lira is the first of these pit stops. And he's only 6 seconds off the road, so Archer maybe not doing the best at this moment. Again, this isn't the favourite of most tracks. 2 steps in 10, showing he will not be obviously getting any points from this, unfortunately, unless he can join back into the race. Mazzatron actually passing Archer with the DRS. Mazzatron up into 8th place. Excuse me. Nick is now getting harassed by Schwalbe. These hard tyres are now getting are now taken into effect. These soft tyres are now starting to die off. Does JG enter the pits? The answer is no. Does Nick enter the pits? The answer is no. So it looks like these soft tyres will be staying on for at least another lap or so. Schwalbe picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. That can maybe be measured come the end of this race. As EME, what's happening to him? He's been passed by Shari. He carries on. Looks like there's been no contact, at least with the front wing of EME. So Shari has picked up another position, up into 6th already. Only 6 seconds, less than 5 seconds away from Schwalbe. No, 6 seconds, Ross, you were right first time. So 6 seconds, and again, Shari has no penalties. Schwalbe has 1. Now again, I say this because they are both hard tyre runners. They will be having to 1 stop. JG and Nick will have to 2 stops. The battle for the win, as we actually miss out Schwalbe passing Nick up for 2nd. The battle for the win might be between Schwalbe and Shari. So it looks like a fairly standard pass with the DRS for Schwalbe, entering the chicane of 8 and 9. As Lira starts to make up some places as well. Looks like it's past the 2 steps, so it would have been not too much of a incident. But I can't speak today. Intriguingly enough, he's actually gained 2 seconds to JG since the start of the virtual safety car. JG enters the pits as well as Nick. Now this is going to be interesting. I want to see where Lira comes out. It's Luktat gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Now Lira did put his pit stop in, as much as he did have an incident with his front wing, as much as he did get caught up in an incident in general. He pitted under the virtual safety car. His damage has been limited. Does he get in front of the drivers such as JG and Nick? The answer might be yes to some of them. So he's behind JG, so that would have been a net second before pit stop. So that's actually worked out very, very well for Lira. He's been very, very lucky in the sense that he did get a virtual safety car for that, and that no one pitted very early. So he's put himself back in contention, at least with the two stock drivers. As we see Nick passing 2 steps already, we have Lottats will be the next person to get past him. Obviously with the AI will be driving a lot slower. Lira passing Archer already, so Lira up into 6th place, only a second behind JG, who has taken the harder tyres now. Hard tyres, according to this game, will last 19 laps. He can make it to the end, but it'll be very, very unlikely that these tyres will last if what has been said is true by this game. So he might have to pit one more time. We'll have to find out. But it looks like Lira is on a bit of a charge. We have Schwalbe 5.3 seconds in front of Hickster. Hickster getting chased by Shari, who is in DRS range. Shari on the harder compound of tyres. Now we will be seeing the medium tyre runners pit fairly soon. 15 laps is the tyre life for these mediums. So that means in the next 2 to 3 laps we might see them pit in for a hard tyre compound. So a bit of a gap between 3rd and 4th currently, 13 seconds to be exact. Lottats has passed Nick, so they're still having a bit of a battle here. Looks like Lottats has capitalised on DRS and has passed Nick for a provisional 8th place. So we just missed Shari getting past Hickster using the DRS and JG, and Lira battling it out. Lira getting the better of JG, so the and actually let him pass, maybe with having to go wide in order to make that pass. But still, this is proving that the undercut has potentially worked for Lira in a sense, even with the front wing damage. Does Lira actually capitalise on this? You'll have DRS coming out of the pit exit, but you can see again the grip difference between these hard and neutral compound tyres are easily shown. So let's see if DRS can beat anything for Lira, as we see Archer pit from 7th, so his tyres not lasting longer than they should, but he can still make it with a 1-stop potentially on these hard tyres. Actually, I say that possibly not, but we'll find out. Anyway, looks like it's not going to be the case for Lira passing JG, at least for Sector 1. Sector 2 is another thing, however, the long straight. Lira does have a good setup for straight line as well, so hopefully he can use it. Nick has actually passed Lottats once again, so Nick back up into 7th ahead of Lottats. We'll see how that gets on over the next couple of laps. He does at least cover from DRS, at least for this straight. Jaime and Wozno is not that far behind. They have pitted as well. So 9th and 10th for them. 11th obviously showing as 2 steps, that's not the case. AME is effectively 11th, who's recently pitted. Ken will need to pit, confirmed obviously 8 laps into the soft tyres. He'll probably be pitting this lap. Archer on the back, but it looks like Schwalbe still has a bit of a gap between himself and Shari, 5.6 to be exact. Schwab does have the 3-second time penalty, however, and there's still 15 laps left in this Grand Prix. There could be a chance of more penalties for either driver. Third we have Hickster from Mazatron. Mazatron picking up 3-second time penalty, and I believe that was E&E as well. Taps as well picking up another 3-second time penalty for himself, as we see Ken Worthington pits. So Taps getting a time penalty from passing Nick as well. It looks like JG has started to fend off Lira from 5th place currently. See if anything can happen with this DRS for both battles. It looks like 3 groups of 2. Who's that going very well? So that's Boas Noise having a little bit of a wonder. Having a look at some of the scenery there. But it looks like everyone's holding station, at least for this lap. For the battle for 5th, JG is starting to get a little bit of pressure on Lira. They're both starting to gain on Mazatron, but Lira having a look in the inside of turn 11. Can he make that stick? And he's had bad experiences around that corner. Both look like they've had a very respectable... yeah. I'm going to shut up, can't speak. Mazatron picking up a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Not going well. That releases JG away from him, because we're closing the battle for 5th at that time. Lira getting mighty speed with this setup, especially on the DRS. Obviously this might not work out for JG having Mazatron pit, considering DRS might have been the best form of defence for the Haas driver. Everyone holding stations for the time being. Taps and Nick now the battle for 6th. Jaime and Boas Noise. Boas Noise actually looks like he's catching the Williams driver fairly quickly, so we might see some passes on the straight. Well, look at the first battle here. Lira much more closer. Lira passing before the corner, before the chicane, so Lira up to 4th. Taps has staved off the battle for Nick, and it looks like the same has went for Jaime, who keeps his 8th place, but picks up a 3-second time penalty for himself in the multiple warnings, which does not help his case. Boas Noise actually looks like he's got a better run. That's not the case actually. Looked from that camera angle like he did, but the Alpha driver does look like he's more confident in the car with these tyres compared to the Williams. So that might work out in his favour in the next couple of laps. Hickster pits from 3rd place. He will be going on the hard tyres. So that releases him into the path of potentially the battle for 7th. You have to actually see where it comes out. So he's only came out as of now. So he's not even close to them. He'll maybe be closer to Mazatron. No, he's out actually behind Boas Noise, so I'm completely wrong with my predictions, but at least he's got some clear air for himself to make it to the end of the race. Now, Captain Shari and Schwalb has grown, but not by much, 6.3 seconds a gap. Then a 24-second gap between Schwalb and Lira. Now, I have to note that the gap has been stable, even with Lira battling JG for the last 4 or 5 laps now. We have to see if Lira can close the gap between himself and Schwalb, possibly to give himself a chance of maybe battling for a win. As Mandrop retires from the session, I wonder what's happened to him. Yellow flag sector 3, that's going to be where Schwalb is. As Boas Noise finally passes Jaime for 7th. Looks like it's clear at least for the guys up front, and try to see where it is. No yellow flag showing currently on track, even though it does say there is a yellow flag somewhere. Yellow flag sector 1, so it must be an AI car still moving. As we see, I believe that is the car of Mandrop there, going very slowly, still on track. That's very strange for a car to still go on like that. Very lucky for Schwalb actually not to collect that racing point, as it finally gets out of the way. He has actually lost half a second because of that, so that's very, very unfortunate for Schwalbe there, having to be caught up by that AI. Once again, Cody's proven that he can make a terrible game. Lira has actually gained 7/10 of a second, but he has picked up a 3-second time penalty for himself, which kind of stabilises the gap to himself and Schwalbe penalty wise. Jai G now getting actually chased by Nick, who's managed to gap Luck Taps by a good 1.5 seconds, so Nick has started to get the groove on with his hard tyres and can hopefully get himself in a position to fight Jai G for this 4th position. It looks like the battle for 3rd will be Lira, Nick, Jai G, and we have to think about Hickster as well. Hickster does not need to pit one more time, while the rest of the drivers in front will have to. Hickster is on the harder tyres, but everyone else in front will be on the faster tyres. Schwalbe enters the pits. Does Shari enters the pits as well. So, oh, no he doesn't. Oh, he's made a late call for that one. That's a very, very strange call. So that's lost him a hell of a lot of time to Schwalbe. So I don't know if he's maybe changed his mind. Maybe there's something coming up. Maybe he's hoping for a safety car or so. But that's a very strange call. Schwalbe gets in front of Lira. So this is the battle for 1st effectively, but Schwalbe does not have to pit again while Lira and the rest do. Slot picks up another 3-second time penalty for himself. He's really enjoying going wide at some of these corners. He might be under pressure from Boaz Noyes and Jaime when it comes to the end of the race. Hickster starting to make his presence felt to the guys in front in 9th, only 3 seconds away from Jaime and Boaz Noyes. So he might get himself into the battle for 7th at some point. 15 drivers left with 11 laps to go. We're slowly getting to the end of this race. We'll have to see if Shari now pits this lap. I'm very interested to see why Shari did not commit to this pit stop. Maybe does not believe that these medium tyres can make it to the end. I'm not entirely sure what the answer is, but he does pit this time round. So he's stayed out one more extra lap for the sake of fresher tyres. I'm not entirely sure, but this obviously releases Schwalbe into a much more bigger gap in this Grand Prix, and I believe Shari will be well behind everyone, possibly or maybe in front of Boaz Noyes, as we see Jaime enter the pits with only 10 laps on his medium tyres. So 9 laps for Archer on the mediums, 10 laps for Jaime on the mediums. Maybe the call for Shari could possibly be right in the fact that these tyres might not last too long. 11 laps is the max, well 14 laps I should say, so that's actually countered my theory straight away. But look at that, the gap now 11.9 seconds between Schwalbe and Shari. Shari has lost 6 seconds from that indecision. And he will be battling Hickster. Hickster actually not too far behind now. They both have to do not have to pit again. Shari, yes, he is in the faster tyres, but they're both on fresh. Both drivers on the fresh tyres. They do not have to pit again. But everyone else will be the factor when it comes to the end of this race. Nick, Luck Taps, and Jai G, all the hard tyres could possibly be in effect of Shadi, who's actually clutching Boaz Noyes fairly quickly. EME passing Mazatron at turn 8 for 9th place. Ken Worthington, 5-second penalty for him from gaining a place, even though he is in last position, so that's going to be a very interesting little look there. So Schwalbe putting the fastest lap of the race, and he has a 5-second gap over Lira, who has Jai G put himself back into contention for the 2nd place. Nick is having a little bit of a lonely race in a sense, not catching Jai G now. Shari passes Boaz Noyes up into 6th place, so he will be starting to make the charge for 2nd place hopefully in the next couple of laps. Yellow flag sector 3, it looks like an issue between Archer and I was going to say 2 steps, but 2 steps is ghosted, so Archer has hit the wall. Sector 3, I'm going to assume that was turn 12, so he will need to pit again, and it looks like it's not been a great race for this Toro Rosso driver, making his second pit stop of the race and retires from the session, possibly due to rage. Okay, lap 18. So we actually have Jaiji right behind Lira now. Maybe these hard tyres, like I was going to say, maybe the hard tyres are taking effect. The medium tyres of Lira's are 12 laps old, so maybe these tyres are struggling already. Jaiji actually having to brake and move out the way just to make sure he's not bumping into Lira for 2nd place. Obviously this is inviting Nick to get a little bit closer and maybe pick up the DRS come the end of this straight. So Shari managing to put himself up into contention for 5th place. Does he get DRS this section? No, he does not, is the answer. Ken Worthington picking up another penalty, 3 seconds for multiple warnings. He'll be catching the AI of 2 steps. Mastertron passes EME. Where's EME? He's in the pits, that's what it is. So EME will be coming out possibly behind Ken Worthington. Steph Rail enters the pits as well, lap 16. They have had the medium tyres on, so that proves that these medium tyres can make it to the end of this Grand Prix. So Lira will be most likely be on the soft tyres come the end of the race. Yellow flag sector 2. That is Hickster, who's had a little bit of a spin there at turn 7. So it's a bit of an interesting one. That really does not help his situation, considering he was not that far from Shari, so maybe possible contact between Hickster and someone. But Shari's up into 5th, he's past Luck Taps. Now there is a bit of a gap between himself and Nick. Lira should be pitting in the next couple of laps or so. Jaiji and Nick will be released, but Shari is on the faster tyres and can possibly do some damage to at least secure his 2nd place. Now, does Lira pit this lap? The answer is yes, so he will be going on to the soft tyres for the end of this race and possibly picking up the fastest point of the race, hopefully, if he can get himself the fastest lap. Boz Noise also pits from 7th. I believe that's 5-second time penalty getting used by Lira there. So that is the Alpha and the Renault both getting released. Hickster now puts himself up into 6th after that spin as well, but he'll have some company come the end of the race. Who else is on a bit of a charge? Nick is actually not that far away from Jaiji. He has put himself up into DRS range. Can he do anything about it? It looks like Nick's setup has been more adjusted to cornering and straight line speed, but I say that it looks like a rocket ship coming right behind Jaiji there. Not far, not close enough to make the overtake, but you can see the visible difference. Power sliding out of turn 9, a little bit too eager on the throttle, but he's desperate to try and get past Jaiji in the Haas for 2nd place. He knows that Shari is going to be close behind him. But it's a very good battle between these two drivers. Shari only 2 seconds up the road and closing very quickly. Hickster has managed to put himself on a little bit of an island after that spin, up in 6th place. We'll see Lira and Boz Noise 8th and 10th respectively, both on these soft tyres however. So keep an eye on Lira as we enter lap 21 to see if he can post the fastest lap of the race. He does have Mastertron in front of him, but if he can get close enough to possibly get DRS and overtake before the chicane of turn 8 and 9, he might have a good chance of securing that extra point. So 8.2 seconds, the gap between JG and Schwalbe. Shadi has closed the gap down by a couple of seconds between Schwalbe and Shadi, but I believe Schwalbe is on. He's just taking it very, very easy. He's not in a position where he needs to push for the fastest lap. So that's Nick past JG there. Great move there from the Red Bull driver. Putting himself up into second, but Shadi is right on the heels of JG now. He's gained almost a second and a half since we last mentioned last lap. So he is in DRS zone. At least Ken Worthington finally getting himself up there. I think EME's had a little bit of a spin. Yes, that is right, turn 4. So it's went bad to worse, and he is on the soft tyres as well. Lira passing Mazzutrona up into 7th place, so it has worked out. So this is a really good opportunity for Lira to get fastest lap of the race, and that bonus point potentially helping him out. Possibly could be fighting for a top 5 position here. We do have a couple more people still needing to pit, and Lira will have the bigger undercut for this race. Nick and JG still heading out. Shadi now right behind them with the DRS. Hopefully he can do some damage with his DRS and potentially maybe take both of them into turn 8 and put himself up into 2nd place. But it looks like you can see again the visible difference between the grip of these two tyres. He's going to be passing JG before DRS. Nick looks like an easy target for both of them. I was going to say that the DRS is kind of helping out JG as well. Attacking and defence happening at the same time. Can Shadi get a good X out of here? The answer is no. I think having to hold back a little bit just to make sure he's not getting into a position where he could hit JG for the exit of the straight. So Lira did not post the fastest lap of the race here. I just realised that, so that's very interesting. Now the only suggestion I can say is that he's maybe validated the lap. Maybe Schwalbe is just too fast on these feature tyres. So Shadi cannot get past JG or Nick. As of yet, there is 4 laps to go in this race. I would imagine the hard tyre runners on Nick, JG and Lactats will probably want to make it to the end of the race. They feasibly can. With 18 laps of tyre life. There is 19 laps tyre life as what the Formula 1 game has mentioned, so they will be on the limit. If true, Shadi going super wide. No wide at all, he's drifting. EME leaving the session, unfortunately for him, just went bad to worse. He's going to be missing out on 13th place, so we will have 13 drivers, well 12 drivers technically, because 2 steps isn't racing. Come the end of this race, Lira doesn't look like he'll be catching Hickser anytime soon, so the only way Lira will be picking up any positions is if anyone in front decides to pit. So Schwalbe has picked up a 3-second time penalty. JG has spun. I do not think there was contact between Shadi and JG there. I think that was just tyres starting to give up though for the Haas driver. He's got himself back in the running in 5th place, so he's still on board for a decent place finish for himself. Shadi now has to chase Nick. Now Schwalbe has 2 time penalties to his name, while Shadi has 1. The gap 12 seconds, it has grown by 3 seconds in the last 2 to 3 laps in Schwalbe's favour, so that has cost Shadi a potential win here. He's unfortunately lost the win, and again we have to say he started from the back of the grid effectively. I believe 15th or 16th to be exact. Let me clarify that. Actually, before we do that, Lira missed the fastest lap of the race by a 10th of a second. That's why he's not got it, so he's just not got the pace of Schwalbe. Anyway, position change. So it was 15th. Shadi started 15th, up 12 places. He's had a great race, and he's put himself in with a shout of potentially battling Nick. Now remember, Nick is championship leader Shadi 10 points behind in 2nd place. This is potential potential gain for Shadi if he can pass Nick. The gain is small, only 18 to 15 points, but every point matters when it comes to Formula 1. But I believe the bigger win, I suppose, Wheel obviously not racing it. Sorry, as we'll just interrupt that for a second. Shadi going around the outside, he can't do anything about it. Really trying to get past, going on in turn 11 on the inside. He makes it stick, does he? Yes, he does. That Shadi up into second place. It's finally been released of Nick, and hopefully he can gap himself, because I do not believe Nick has a 3-second time penalty. Well, Shadi does. So Shadi will need to put foot down and try and create a gap. Now, I was mentioning Wheel not picking up any points. Silver's, unfortunately, his form is not getting any better, and losing points again. Who's in 4th in the championship? Hickster in 6th. He will be gaining points, but he will still be losing out to Nick. So Nick having a very good run. The only person to be gaining points from him is Shadi, and it's only 3 points, so a very good race for our top 2 so far. Only strengthening their gap between themselves and 3rd in the championship. It doesn't look like Nick is actually managing to get away. Shadi's not getting away from Nick at all. Obviously DRS is really helping Nick out here. I would imagine Sector 3 is going to be the better sector for Shadi when it comes to tyre life. Let's have a look everywhere else. Hickster's actually getting caught by Lira quite drastically here. 2 laps to go, 4 seconds the gap. Lira might have a chance of 6th place. Mazatron getting passed by Jaime up into 8th place. So a good run from Jaime there. Bosno is holding down that last points position, but he is on the softer tyres. 2 seconds away from Mazatron with 2 laps to go. He has a chance of 8th if these soft tyres continue to perform. So Shadi, as expected, starting to gap Nick now. The tyre life is going to be crucial when it comes to Sector 3 in particular, and crucially Nick is now out of DRS range, which is going to help Shadi Sector 2. Hickster now 3 seconds in front of Lira. Lira has 2 laps to get 3 seconds down. 1.8 seconds of difference between Mazatron and Bosnois. So we'll have to have a look at the Alpha driver and the Renault driver at the end of the race. They are both on the soft tyres. We'll have to see if they can do anything about it. Great camera angle here of the Alpha. So it looks like Lira is still gaining on Hickster. I was trying to think of what the gap that is. It's 2.5 seconds is the gap, so he's gained 1.5 seconds in the last couple of laps here. So the soft tyres are still going for it. The gap between Mazatron and Bosnois is still the same, but again we have to remember Mazatron does have DRS and slipstream, which is helping him out so much Sector 2. That might be the deterrence for Bosnois' gain on 9th place, but Lira looks like he will be battling for 6th come the end of this race. Schwalbe enters the last lap of the race from Shadi. Shadi now has a 2.5 second gap over Nick. He needs to at least gain half a second to at least maybe make him a little bit more safe here. Nick might not be out of the field yet, especially if Shadi picks up another time penalty. Luttaps 4th, Jai in 5th. He might pick up 4th from Luttaps, from the penalties Luttaps has picked up. Lira is close, 2.3 seconds, but not close enough with 1 lap to go, so it looks like Lira will be holding down 7th. Jaime still in front of Mazatron come the end of the race here. from Mazatron. Boaz Noyes is not getting any closer, so he looks like he'll be holding down that last championship point. Ken Worthington, not the greatest of results for him. An 11th place, quite unfortunate really. I think he got picked up in lap 1 incident. Two Steps hasn't really started the race, and internet connection issues. Steph Rell not having the best of races. EME disconnected, but we see Schwab pass the end of the corner here and picks up their first win of the season in the French Grand Prix. Congratulations to Schwab. He will be McLaren's he'll be officially McLaren driver as of next week. Shari comes into second ahead of Nick. Shari did not have any time penalties, so Shari's indecision to pit or not has actually cost him the race. That's very, very unfortunate. Nick enters, will confirm third position. Jai G after penalties is in front of Luttats. Next up is Hickster. Hickster is shown as 6th from Lira in 7th. 8th across the lane is Jaime. Mazatron is in 9th. Was Noyes takes 9th position from Mazatron after penalties. Ken Worthington will be the next one across the line. Unfortunately for him, he will not be gaining any points in today's race. But to confirm that the fastest lap of the race has been collected by Schwab, so Schwab picks up the full 26 points in this race. We just await Two Steps, Steph Farrell and Ken Worthington across the line. I have to say, for Ken Worthington's sake, the fact that Two Steps, who has been effectively an AI, has managed to finish overall in front of Ken Worthington is very, very unfortunate. It's probably not a sentence I've said, but I don't know how else to word that off the top of my head. And the race is finished anyway, so to confirm, Schwab wins this race from Shari. Nick 3rd, Jai G 4th, Luttats 5th, Hickster 6th, 7th is Lira, Jaime 8th, Was Noyes 9th, Mazatron 10th, Two Steps 11th, 12th is Ken Worthington, 13th Steph Farrell, 14th is EME. Archer did not finish in 15th, 16th Mandrock did not finish, 17th Silvers did not finish, who got caught out by a bloody horrible crash. It's very unfortunate for him. Both Mercedes drivers looked like they could have been in the podium positions actually, maybe fighting for Nick, but definitely a good chance of podium for both these drivers. Unfortunately wasn't to be for Silvers. So after a bit of a elongated race, shall we say, we'll look into the next race, which is Australia, which has always been a great race to commentate. It's always been great because there's either a lot of chaos and there's a lot of damage, and that's what we like to see as commentators: entertainment and carnage. That will be live on Monday the 16th of September, live from 7:50 British Standard Time, summertime, sorry, 8:50 CEST, 6:50 GMT. If you're interested in joining this league, always feel free. We'll have a Discord channel and a YouTube channel, as always as well. We will on our Twitch be live streaming all our Tier 1 Championship races on Mondays, so feel free to have a look at that, and if you haven't followed already, please follow. Other than that, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you next week. Goodbye.